What's going on with you? It's your boy Betz back with another episode of Sports with Betz. As you can see, I've got my Nebraska. I've got a hoodie on right now because fall is officially here. It's officially cold. We live in two states of weather here in Nebraska and really in the Midwest in general of extremely hot and super uncomfortably cold. So we have started to enter the extremely uncomfortable cold, and with the uncomfortable cold comes about 4 months of basically darkness, where we get, I don't know, what is it, like 4 or 5 hours of sunlight, and then it's just pitch black for the rest of the time. But this is great because this is real football weather. This is when the great teams are separated from the good teams, when the men are separated from the boys, when it gets cold and it gets shitty out there and windy, and soon snow will be here. I saw flurries today on a rooftop in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is starting to get uncomfortable out here, but got an exciting show for you guys coming up here. As always, start my show the same way every time. If you are enjoying this show, if you tune in every week, if I make you laugh, if you learn something, anything like that, if you get any sort of value from the show, please share the show. I want to keep doing this. I've really enjoyed the community I've been building here. The show keeps growing and growing every single week, and that's super fun and exciting to see. And it's all because you guys have been, sharing my show. So please, if you like this, if you get any sort of value out of this, pay the fee, share the show, please. That being said, right now, I'm going to get to a little bit of Titans and Husker talk. I can't talk about sports without talking about the Tennessee Titans and Nebraska Cornhuskers, unfortunately. We'll get to that here in a minute, but the number one thing occupying my sports brain right now is not football in October. It is baseball, which is kind of crazy. I never thought I'd say that. Don't get me wrong, football is still my number one favorite sport, but the sport that I feel like has the most drama, or the if my brain is a pie chart, the majority of that chart is occupied with the World Series. I'm going to make a claim. I'm going to make a hot take here that Shohei Ohtani not only last Friday had the greatest individual performance, the greatest single game in MLB history, where he had 3 home runs batting. He pitched 6 innings and got 10 strikeouts. I mean, I can't even think of what that's like for other sports. I mean, he 3 home runs and 10 strikeouts pitching in the same game. That's the greatest individual performance maybe ever in all of sports. I mean, that would be like, I don't even know. That'd be like getting 4 touchdown passes at 150 yards receiving and 2 pick sixes all in the same game or something like that. I don't even know if that's a fair comparison. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't think of anything that would ever match that. So not only did he have the greatest individual performance that we've ever seen in baseball, maybe across all of sports, I think he might be just the best player of all time. I mean, he had this stretch where I think it was like 7 at bats in a row at home. He had like 5 home runs and 2 doubles or something like that, like while he's trying to pitch. Plus, he pitched last night, which was it would be Tuesday night. Didn't do great, didn't do terrible, but he pitched after the game before that. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays went into extra innings, 18 extra innings. They played 2 full baseball games in one day, which is insane. So this World Series is just absolutely phenomenal. You've got the number one athlete in all of sports right now, Shohei Ohtani. He is Tiger Woods. He is Kobe Bryant level greatness. So yes, you've got that drama going on, but then, you've got Vladdy Jr. for the Blue Jays, who he's an absolute stud. I mean, he's so sick, man. You see these photos of him from when he was a kid. And again, another thing that makes me feel like an old guy every once in a while is seeing players that you used to watch back in the day. Like I remember watching Vladdy Sr., so seeing those photos where Vlad Sr. is bringing Vladdy Jr. To the games and in the dugout and whatnot, and you see these photos of him as a little kid with his dad and the pros, and now he's hitting home runs in the World Series. I mean, that's amazing. And then you had George Springer a couple nights ago, just had an absolutely unbelievable go-ahead home run. I think it was bottom of the seventh. Toronto just went absolutely nuts. 3-run shot. I mean, it was, again, one of the most incredible moments that I've seen. Like this playoff World Series stretch we're watching right now, I can't remember the last time I was this excited. I mean, it makes me feel like the 2011 NBA playoffs are back. It's just, there's so much drama. There's so much there's new stars in the league. Obviously the Dodgers were there again, but the Blue Jays being there, baseball is phenomenal, and I've got nothing to gain. I don't get a commission from the MLB by telling you to watch baseball. I'm just, as someone who's a diehard pure sports fan, you guys should watch the rest of the World Series. It's super exciting. So right now when I'm recording this, it's Wednesday evening. Probably won't drop the show till Thursday morning. So there's no game on tonight, Thursday night, as you guys are listening to this. There will be another game on Friday. Series is, I think it's tied 2-2. Do I have that correct? Let me check here. I think it is tied 2-2, which is insane. Let me go here. Yep, series is tied 2-2. So tonight we get our last game in LA, and then Friday, Saturday, we've got the last 2 games, Saturday if necessary, in Toronto in front of that crowd. So I'm probably rooting for the Dodgers. I'm definitely rooting for the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers. My wife Sid is a Dodgers fan. She decided at the beginning of last year, which perfect timing. Yeah, incredible. All-time moments, all-time plays, all-time players. They're going to be talking about this playoffs and World Series for a long time to come. So watch some damn playoff baseball. It's so good. Or World Series baseball now. There's no more playoffs left. So yeah, been watching a lot of the World Series. Watched a little bit of UFC this past weekend. I'd love to know, drop some comments if you guys watched this. Tom Aspinall got eye poked, and it looked like a really nasty eye poke, but I mean, he got beat up and bloodied, and Cyril Gane, I'm going to call him Cyril Gane. Sorry if that's the wrong way to pronounce it, but he was piecing Tom up a little bit in that first round early, obviously before the eye poke happened. I think Aspinall got in there and felt, he got touched by a couple of Cyril's jabs and was like, oh, fuck this. I don't want anything to do with this. And took the first escape route that he possibly could. So that's kind of crazy. I don't know. It just makes you think, like, there was this big drama between Tom Aspinall and John Jones for like a year and a half, maybe longer than that. After watching 30 seconds of a fight where Cyril Gane withdrew and threw in the towel basically because of an eye poke, I mean, I think it's safe to say we all can declare John Jones as the still undisputed GOAT, especially in that weight class. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, I would love on this show to talk more UFC, because historically it's like top 2, top 3 sport that I've followed forever. I mean, since as long as I've been watching sports. But I don't know. It just feels like I just don't feel very excited about the UFC right now. I'd be curious if you guys feel that way, or if anybody can relate to what I'm saying. Are there fighters that I'm missing? The only fighter that like really gets me excited is Ilia Topuria, because he's the only fighter currently in the UFC that I feel like is doing something that's never been done before. He's just gone through murderer's row, knocking out everybody's favorite fighters. I mean, I said this weeks and weeks ago that he looks like a literal demon sent from hell, whose only job is to snatch the soul of your favorite fighter. Like that's a storyline I can get behind. Not really interested in his fight with what's his name? Peppermint Fatty, Paddy Pimblett. He's, I don't know, maybe going to be an exciting fight. I think that Ilya is better at everything than Paddy. His striking is better. Yeah, Paddy's really strong and he's a great wrestler. I think Ilia Topuria's jiu-jitsu is better than Paddy's wrestling. I don't know. I don't see Paddy as a threat at all to Ilya. So even in the fighters that I think are exciting, their matchups are not very exciting to me. Islam, don't care. Hamzat, don't care. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it with these Russian guys, Chechenian guys coming into the UFC. They all do the same thing. You know what you're going to get. Pereira kind of excites me a little bit, but even then, like I just don't feel like there's a lot of excitement around the sport. And having your champ, who there's been a lot of controversy around for the last year and a half, 2 years, Tom Aspinall, withdraw within whatever it was, a minute of the opening round because of an eye poke. doesn't do anything for my excitement. So in any event, changing gears, football. Let's get back to basics here. So I'm gonna try to not talk about the Titans anymore. We're approaching all-time low for me as a sports fan. I think I can say I'm at the same level of disappointment right now as I was when Scott Frost was the head coach of Nebraska. That was my all-time low. I think this is my new all-time low. I'm sitting in my dirty pee pants. My piss pants have never been wetter as a Titans fan. And not only do you have, the first open spot, head coaching spot available with the Titans firing Brian Callahan. But now you've got this like onslaught of other football programs, although college, who are firing their head coaches. So you've got LSU, Florida, Penn State now all have job openings. There's some rumors that maybe USC could have some job openings, that they might want to move on from stinking Lincoln Riley. South Carolina, Beamer's in trouble. So there's a lot of coaches floating around there. There's some coaches in the NFL who could get fired as well too. I don't know. Like, I think Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat. I said this maybe even preseason. Zach Taylor for the Bengals. I think I did say this preseason. I'm looking smart right now. That Zach Taylor for the Bengals, he could be on the hot seat. And I know it sucks because Joe Burrow gets injured. Joe Burrow's always injured. If the quarterback, although a quarterback-driven league, but if the quarterback is your make or break, I mean, I don't know. Like, look at Kevin O'Connell. Look at Kyle Shanahan. They've got great quarterbacks on their team, but when their quarterback goes down, the system still works. It just doesn't seem, like that's working. So you could see some guys get fired. Zach Taylor. The Bengals. Joe Flacco steps in and he looks good, but then they lose to the Jets. Whatever. So you could have some other coaches fired. It seems like. When it rains, it pours. It just seems like nothing the Titans are doing could, give me any hope whatsoever. In fact, they traded Jarvis Brownlee and Roger McCreary for a fifth and a conditional 6th-round pick in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so we had decent cornerbacks on a terrible defense. We had, decent cornerbacks. And now the GM has created a need that wasn't there before. Like, why are you trading away our corner? Get rid of Tony Pollard. Get rid of Calvin Ridley. Get rid of Tyler Lockett. Asked to be released, and he was gone. I just don't understand why you have a position filled. We have so many holes on our roster. You have a position filled at cornerback. You're like, all right, I got these 2 young guys there. At least can hold down the fort. You trade them for a 5th and a 6th-round pick? It's disgusting. So I am so sick of the Titans. I'm over them. It's so funny because I said last week the same thing. I was going to stop paying attention to the Titans. Since then, Mike Vrabel came to Tennessee, and he did exactly what I said he was going to do. He raw dogged us in Nashville. That was disgusting. And then we got absolutely slaughtered by Danny Dimes and the Colts. It's just like that is literally my worst nightmare. If you would have told me 6 months ago that Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the New England Patriots, would come into Nashville and beat the brakes off of you, and then the following week you'd have to watch the Indianapolis Colts, who's my least favorite team in the entire NFL, with Daniel Jones as their quarterback, look like the best team in the NFL, then come in and beat the shit out of the Titans back-to-back weeks, I would have canceled my NFL Red Zone subscription right there. Gosh, it's disgusting. So anyway, I said last week I was going to stop talking about the Titans as much. Here I am talking about them again. I also mentioned that I'm going to be a Chargers fan. Didn't even look at the schedule to see that the next game on deck is Titans at Chargers. So I'm in a little bit of a pickle because I can't root against the Titans, but I also can't root for them. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Might just be a neutral observer of that game, and I'm just going to root for Jim Harbaugh, and I'm going to root for Cam Ward, and I'm going to see how that goes. So, so Titans suck. They might be the worst team ever in the NFL ever. And yeah, they've got one win. Don't get fooled by that one win. That is a cupcake Mickey Mouse win. That's not a real win. We didn't really win the game. The Cardinals gave us that game. I'm going to keep reminding people. So hopefully from this point forward, I'm going to talk just more general football and less about the Tennessee Titans, as it took me like 7 minutes to just explain. I just did a segment on how I wasn't going to do any more segments on the Titans. So that's funny. Anyway, what's going on around the rest of the league? You know, we've got something that was big that was just announced today. Was my comeback player of the year, Aiden Hutchinson. I gave my third of the way through the NFL season awards. My comeback player of the year, Aiden Hutchinson, landed himself, what was it, a 4-year, $180 million, something like that. 4-year, $180 million contract extension. Let me see this year. Yep, 4 years, $180 million. Just a nice little $45 million per year. And with that, Aiden Hutchinson is crowned my first Supreme White Boy of the year. You know, we had a couple of other guys flirting with it. We had Carson Beck flirting with it. We had, my other guy, Cam Scattaboo. He was flirting with Supreme White Boy, maybe even got there, but that broke my heart. You know, that totally broke my heart. Which, all right, now I'm going on a couple different tangents here. Bear with me. Don't let me forget. I was talking about Aiden Hutchinson. I'm going to forget. Cam Scattaboo. So I have a group of friends who basically, well, let me back this up one more time. Sorry, I'm trying to say 19 things at once. I feel like I have had really bad luck. I have made jokes on this show how I'm a Husker fan and a Tennessee Titans fan. Can't think of anything that's more discouraging or brutal, to be honest with you. I can't think of another combination of sports franchises that would break your heart more than those two. I'm a horrible bettor on sports. I mean, I've won a little bit here or there, but I rarely win gambling. I have decent advice. And when I don't take my own advice is when it ends up winning. When I've got a hunch on something, it ends up losing. You know, so I've really felt this sense of just loser. I'm a loser when it comes to sports. I'm not a winner when it comes to sports. There's some guys who are like, you know, they're like, I don't know, like New York Yankees fans or like Pittsburgh Steelers fans or something like that, where they're just like, you know, they're going to be in the mix every year. I don't even know what that's like. I couldn't even imagine being like a Kansas City Chiefs fan where you've got like the greatest quarterback of all time on your team. I'm a loser when it comes to sports. So I've got a group of friends. This is where I was trying to get to before. A group of friends who said, you know, I might be cursed. There might be something called the Caleb curse, and that curse is with a K. And that's really kind of fucked with me for a couple weeks now because I'm like, wait a minute. Am I cursed? Like I was like, haha, you guys are so funny. Now I'm like, wait a minute. Your boy might be cursed because I've also been saying all season long, my favorite player in the NFL is Cam Scattaboo. He is so fun. I said that when he got drafted to the Giants. I said he's going to be so fun. I can't wait to watch Cam Scattaboo. Loved him at Arizona State. Sometimes late at night, I'm watching videos of him just grabbing his face mask and hitting his head against a brick wall. Like I've seen that. I love Cam Scattaboo. I'm watching the game and then I see his ankle turned the way it's not supposed to be turned, just totally facing the wrong way. And I was like, you know what? Caleb curse might be freaking real. Might be a real thing. That was really unfortunate to see Cam Scattaboo. We got an exciting young talent in the league just going out like that. I hate to see that. So anyway, Aiden Hutchinson has approached and has with this contract extension is now in the category of Supreme White Boy. He's the first Supreme White Boy of the year. Cam Scattaboo was probably going to get that award, but man, his broken leg said otherwise. So that was sick. Signing Aiden Hutchinson for another 4 years is a really, really good deal. If he can stay healthy, that will easily pay for itself. So, what's next? What else we got going on? Let's see here. Oh, here's another thing. What is up? Speaking of piss pants, what is up with all the people who have a problem with Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime show? What's up with you guys? Why are you so mad at Bad Bunny for having the Super Bowl halftime show? Who gives a shit? A couple things. One, just getting this out of the way. I've seen a lot of people online make some sort of comments about like, it's the Super Bowl. We should have George Strait be the Super Bowl halftime show, blah, 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 blah. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican. He's American. The end of story. End of story. He's Puerto Rican. That's an American territory. How could that possibly be anything other than just racist people looking to be pissed off at something? You know, I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. He's Puerto Rican. Sorry. Okay. So let's just get that out of the way. The whole race thing, and no, we shouldn't have this Spanish-speaking guy do our halftime show. We should have some American guy like George Strait do our halftime show. Fuck off. He's Puerto Rican. Second of all, who is sitting there forcing you to watch the Super Bowl halftime show? Look, I know wives and girlfriends and moms and whoever else likes to watch the Super Bowl. A lot of the times they like to watch the halftime show and the commercials. I personally don't give a fuck about the halftime show or the commercials almost ever. Even like I like Kendrick Lamar. I like Kendrick Lamar a lot. I'd consider myself like a day one Kendrick Lamar fan, and I could go into that. I've been listening to Kendrick Lamar since like 2010. I didn't care that he did the Super Bowl halftime show, and I honestly thought it was a little bit corny, the whole, hey, say Drake, you know, like it's like every single year there's a new gimmick with the halftime show. Like why are people so upset about this? I haven't gotten a clear answer on it. I think it's dumb. I think it's, if you've got a problem with Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl halftime show, don't watch it. Pretty damn simple, pretty easy. Why are we doing a petition to get George Strait on there? Why are people saying that they're going to protest the NFL? If you're protesting football because they had somebody do the Super Bowl halftime show who you didn't like, you were never supposed to be watching football in the first place. We call that natural football selection, Charles Darwinism of football. And great, see ya, bye. Nobody cares. So that got my blood boiling. That fucking pissed me off. Now that was another thing that. That in the pro football world, that was kind of crazy. So stop talking about the Super Bowl halftime show. Just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. In any event. Okay, so then what else is going on in the football world? Next thing that I actually wanted to talk about too, going back to a little bit of college football. I touched on it earlier. I'm not going to go too in depth about it, but you've got firings happening across the league right now. You've got, I think Wisconsin's going to fire their head coach. I think Sharon Moore in Michigan could be eligible for firing this year, depending on how Michigan finishes. You've got, Beamer from South Carolina. He's probably going to be gone. Lincoln Riley potentially could be gone. So you've got a lot, the coaching carousel, the musical chairs of coaching is happening right now in college football. Just doesn't look really well for the Huskers, with the Penn State job being open. And I don't know, it just has felt like Nebraska has felt kind of dead ever since James Franklin got fired. Well, really, it was ever since the Minnesota game, but that happened around the same time. And it just, James Franklin getting fired, Rule going to Penn State, and then us losing to Minnesota. That's just a bad string of things that have happened recently. And I'm just fully convinced now, unfortunately, that I'm going to 2 football games, and I was really confident before, and I'm really terrified of now, where I'm going to the USC game this upcoming weekend, November 1st. It'll be fun. It'll be kind of cold. We got some friends coming in from out of town for that game, so that'll be cool. They're actually from Southern California, so that'll be all right. But yeah, we've got the USC game coming up, and then the last game of the season I'm going to is the Iowa game, the game after Black Friday game after Thanksgiving. I'm afraid we might get our asses kicked in both of those games. I mean, I don't know. Like, after watching the Northwestern and the Minnesota game, I don't know. We are not who I thought we were. We are starting to look not very good anymore. We might just still be an average team, and that's okay. If we win out, I've heard people saying, like, okay, we win out, that means we have to beat USC, Iowa, and Penn State. I know Penn State has 4 or 5 losses now, but it still means something. It's still Penn State. Like, they were still picked to be the national champion this year. If we win out, people are saying that we could potentially, still make to the playoff. I just don't see that happening. I really just don't see it happening. I wouldn't want Nebraska. If I wasn't a Nebraska fan, I wouldn't want Nebraska in the playoff. Why? You lost to Michigan and Minnesota. Those are your 2 losses. the fuck out of here. Why would we want a team like that in the playoff? I'd rather have a team that is a powerhouse in a struggling conference or something like that than have a 2-loss Big Ten team who lost to Minnesota. That just doesn't seem appealing to me. So so in a nutshell, basically, I'm cursed. The Titans are dead. The Huskers are dead. And baseball is awesome. So yeah, I might be cursed, and that's pretty scary. That's kind of scary to think about. But speaking of scary, we are in Spooktober, and this week is Halloween week. We got Halloween coming up on Friday, so I wanted to give you 4 thoughts, 4 scary thoughts to leave you with here. First and foremost, I'm going to go with the scariest team in the NFL, the scariest NFL team. Give yourself a minute. Think about this for a second. Who's the scariest team? Because there's only one correct answer for. I've got 4 of these different categories of the different scaries. There's only one correct answer for each. So, scariest team in the NFL. Get your thoughts going. If you thought the Kansas City Chiefs, you're correct. They are scary. They are very good. Patrick Mahomes is very good. Andy Reid is very good. And yeah, I mean, they're terrifying, and sorry, they're probably going to win the Super Bowl again. I mean, there's no 2 ways around it. I've fought the Chiefs for the longest time. I've hated them. I've been so mad at them. They're incredible, and they're the scariest team in the NFL by far. There's no other team that if they were on your schedule that you would be as scared of. So next, I'm going to go with the scariest fan base. And spoiler here, there's no duplicate answers here. So think of who's the scariest fan base in the NFL. Start thinking about it. Think about it. I'm going to have to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. If you guys haven't seen this stuff, go online and look up opposing fans entering the bank. I think it's the bank. Isn't that what they call it? Anyway, Philly's, the Eagles stadium. I mean, you got the nastiest scum of the earth, dirtbag, loser, awful human beings all grouped together, pissed off and cold and living in Philly, which sucks. I'm sure Philly's kind of the armpit of America. And man, you've got these fans just filled with rage, and they're freezing cold, and they're yelling at you and spitting on you, and they're drunk and they're high and they're crazy. That is the scariest fan base by far. I mean, the Eagles fans are like one step away from being actual zombies. Like, it's insane. I think maybe that's how you become an Eagles fan, is if one of them comes up and gets you and bites you. That might make you an Eagles fan. I don't know. So that's the scariest fan base. Next piece here. Scariest. So I've got scariest player, and I mean that in a good way. And I've got scariest player, and I mean that in a bad way. Scariest player, good. I can't believe I'm saying this, is Daniel Jones with the Colts. Man, he is scary. I watched 4 quarters of Daniel Jones last week against the Titans. He backs up and he gets comfortable in that pocket when he's looking around and he's got time to throw. When he cocks back, you know he's going to put it on a dime. Indiana Jones. I mean, that he is easily the scariest player right now in the NFL. Nobody wants to play against Daniel Jones, which I never thought would be an actual sentence uttered out of my mouth, but here we are. He's a scary dude. And then the scariest player, and I mean this in a bad way, and I mean that like when you're watching, you're like, your eyes are like this, like, oh, I can barely watch this guy. The scariest player negatively in the NFL is Carson Wentz, and he's probably been the scariest player for a couple years now. I don't want to say I'm happy when I see people get injured, although I was very happy to see the news this morning that Carson Wentz is out for the season. Again, not happy about the injury. That kind of stinks. You know, he's still a human being. But man, I'm happy I don't have to watch Carson Wentz for another week. He's just makes you so anxious and terrified, and it's horrible, horrible, horrible to watch. So everybody, enjoy your Halloweens this week. Enjoy your Friday. Hope you guys have fun. I hope you're responsible. Hopefully a lot of you guys find yourselves next to a nice bonfire or something like that, or trick-or-treating or something. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I love you all. Remember to share the show. Keep commenting. I love all that stuff here too. And we'll see you next week. Betz out.